1, 2, 3.
And if I could swim, I'd swim out to you in the ocean, swim out to where you were floating.
Alright, and we are live now on YouTube and Twitch. Zoom in on me like that. We are working tonight on some. I got double camera here going because OBS does not like playing well with TikTok, guys. So TikTok's getting an exclusive stream right now, which my wife is joined in on. Love you, honey. Thank you for watching the kids so I can do my streams. I'll say hi to you. Hanging on this nuggie over on TikTok. But yeah, we're gonna this guy tonight. Let's see. Is that? Oh god, that blows me out. Super fierce on TikTok. Yeah, we're gonna just dim that light. Hopefully that's better for you guys. And Zero Flame joining in on TikTok. Thank you. Feel free to drop anything in the chat. We are working on the second of my two pieces for Stranger Factory. Their circus theme show coming up in June. Get some work done on that. Finishing them up. Hey, Bessa and Board over on TikTok. Thank you for joining. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, we finished up the Sword Swallower earlier this week with the embroidery on there. If you're new to my work, I embroider all my finished paintings. With actual thread, I mean, that's thread going right through the wood panel there. Hey guys, over on TikTok. I just like to add that extra little flair on here. So we finished up the Sword Swallower. They are ready to go. I still got to sign, do all my stuff. I brand all the pieces too. So that's going to be finished up then. We're working on the Two-Faced Man tonight. This one is probably my most experimental embroidery job. I really want to lean into that kind of divide with like lightning or cracked glass, like straight down the middle of the guy or the figure. So it's an interesting one. It's a little more experimental than I normally do, but we'll see how it goes. I'm digging it so far. It has been a cool piece. The painting looks great. The anything. Welcome to TikTok Live. Congo #1 fan. Okay. Sorry. Where was I? There we go. Oh, man. So it's been a fun day of responding to a lot of comments on my most recent video. If you guys have not seen it, I recommend go and check it out after the live. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you will know that I, like most traditional artists, absolutely abhor the use of AI generative image, the nature of the stolen algorithm. Jaden, Mexican Gato, welcome to the stream on TikTok. Like, it's It's an algorithm built off of the work of other artists, not only other artists, but other artists who didn't know they were being trained, which is absolute bullshit. That's news to no one. But yeah. So I more recently now, like I know this from if you watch things where it's like it was new news to me because I did not see that right now. So making sure I'm keeping on the up and up of everything art news related is not something I get to all the time. So I just saw this article over the weekend actually. And it's about how someone used generative AI to complete an already completed painting. Especially the specific painting in question being, oh my god, I'm racking my brain here. Keith Haring's unfinished painting, which was purposefully left unfinished due to as just a statement on the queer community and the AIDS epidemic that was going on at the time, which he had, and he died of complications from just a year later. And just the amount of pushback I got from the AI art community, so sweet. I thrive on their rage. It is sweet, sweet nectar to me. Especially how apparently all of your opinions as an artist don't matter because boohoo, F you, we're going to do what we want anyway. So that was a fun morning responding to those guys all across all platforms except for Instagram. Instagram really had no motion on that, a lot of support there. But yeah, TikTok and YouTube, like YouTube, really, some of the people really got into it. I'm waiting to see if they get, because they commented on my videos, if they get notifications of the stream. So we'll see. Hey, it's one of those things where I'm not going to please anyone, and I am in no way, shape, or form here to try and please AI artists. They know that their algorithms are based off of this stolen work, yet they're gonna still bitch and moan about like, well, it's our right to do this and whatever. I think the worst one I saw on an older video. Yeah, bros, and people selling the same 3D printed dragons as everyone else get the same energy. I feel like maybe the dragon one it's close, but I feel like the dragon one, at least like they're not sitting here trying to say like, yeah, I designed this. It's just like, you're doing it. I get it. But it's close. It's close. Have you in the chat. But yeah, I think the one that really was like, you're really gonna go down this route was they were like, well, of course AI is unethical. We gotta actually, align it with ethics, and we gotta actually do fair usage and all that. But until that happens, you almost had me. Like, you actually gave a shit. And then you were like, nope, fuck you. I think that was also the one that they were like, well, we didn't, like classic goalpost movies, like we totally use AR because it's accessible and it makes art accessible. And it's like, yeah, well, I made a video falling after that pretty much debunking that. So, and like, yeah, I know I'm not the first one to make a video like that because AI or art has always been accessible without AI and without basing your. But it feels weird, like you're coming into my video, into my comments, the AI bros, minds, like they know what they're doing. So I'm not changing their minds. Like what I'm trying to do is make people aware of what's going on. I had does some amazing nerdy crafts and work. Love it. I know it's Zabazor makes over on TikTok. I think it's the same over on YouTube as well. But please follow him because he is, a didn't know this happened. He didn't know that this story about the Keith Haring piece was a thing, which is why I do a lot of these videos where I'm like trying to just spread awareness of what's going on. Because I guarantee, like, if I haven't heard a specific story in the art world, there's a high likelihood that other people haven't either, and I want to make sure people stay informed. And that's just one of the reasons I do a lot of that stuff. A lot of people scrolling through here over on TikTok land. Love to see it. I see Django and Balls. Gotta love it. Unknown Random KW, Samuel Dens. Thank you for stopping by, scrolling through, hanging out for a little while. Love to see it. But yeah, I think, like, I saw the actual original article with the Keith Haring piece, and it was like, what's a piece of artwork that always makes you cry? And it was about Keith Haring's unfinished painting. Chucky, thanks for stopping in. And I'm like, yeah. And then someone chimed in right immediately and it was on Twitter that I think the story first happened. Donald was the guy who did that. I'm not trying to, and it's like, well, now AI can do this for him. And it's like, the piece was finished. The title was called Unfinished Painting, as a statement about the AIDS epidemic. So, I don't know. Just, it's a rough deal, man. It's a rough deal. But yeah. But enough about the current video and everything. Like, if you haven't seen it, it's on my page. Michael Weaver Art on Instagram, Philly Art Dad over on YouTube and TikTok. So, but yeah, if you're scrolling through and you haven't followed Zabazor Makes, go and do that and tell them Philly Art Dad says hi and he sent you his way. But yeah, trying to make sure I share the love with a lot of these especially other smaller creators like myself. I have a video idea I've already got in the works. I enjoy it with Joey Weirdo Artist. I've been watching a lot of his lives here on TikTok. Is with other creators who are in that same creative vein as me, and that share a similar vibe. So hopefully more of those will be coming out. I've also got a series I'm starting hopefully next week, maybe by the end of next week, where I actually talk with other artists that I'm friends with. That, like, these are things like, I'm trying to share with you guys, but I am one dude and I have a certain set of experiences and I want to make sure that I am giving voice to other artists out here who have different experiences than me and share their voice. So a new series, which will be sporadic at first because I'm still on piece of advice you wish you could share with yourself at a young age. And the first one is an artist who I've been following for a while. Ariel Williams, she goes by Passion Deep over on Instagram. I do not know if she has YouTube or a TikTok, but you should absolutely give her a follow. Absolutely some amazing work she does. I actually got to meet her in person for the first time a few months ago at Arch Enemy Arts Spotlight Showcase in March, actually. Yeah, March first Friday in March. I actually got to meet her. Absolutely amazing work, and she is going to be the first, I guess, art kid testimony. I don't know what it is, but hey, it's one of those things, and I'm super excited for it. And Ariel was awesome. The little video she sent me is great, and I cannot wait to get next week. We'll see. Balancing like actual art creation, content creation, all that stuff is tricky as hell. But make it work. On the plus side, once I finish this piece, this is my last, um, like, what's the word I want to use here? Last piece that's I definitively need to have done because it is for a show. I'm talking with a gallery for 2 other shows right now later this year, but that's still in the works. Has not been fully finalized yet, so I'm still working on that. Though I have the ideas, so I'm not going to just wait until they say yes, because that's stupid. But yeah, that's going to be cool. A celestial themed show, which I'm very much going old ones, very Cthulhu-esque. Like, I love the Cthulhu mythos and what they are. While, yes, I do agree that Lovecraft himself, bit of a problematic dude. I still love the stories and the mythos within the Cthulhu universe and like everything that he created. Um, so I don't know. I realize that can be divisive, but it's definitely one of those things where it's like I'm very torn with the idea of support the art, not the artist, because supporting the art directly supports the artist, especially if they're alive, like J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter. Like, yeah, don't support the art there because that will. With Lovecraft, the guy's dead, so he's not really getting much support uh, in that sense. But hey, here's it. I think there's been enough other creatives who have made work within the Cthulhu mythos um, that provides some cool stuff. But yeah, very much have that down by mainly because I want to actually paint. As weird as it sounds, I want to paint tentacles again. I did it once before for an underwater show. Interruption. I do apologize for that, guys. Getting a new computer is definitely on my list of things to do. Like, absolutely. But, that costs money. Something that artists notoriously don't get a lot of. But hey. Your channel, let's make sure I'm actually live elsewhere other than YouTube. That's great to see. To carry on. Nice. Like your comments against the hate comments over on a video. Always. Let's go. Stream manager. I need to say, as I stream, so cool. We are. I promise. Like it's something I promise. Like it's something I'm actively working on. Uh, I would. If you're lurking in Twitch, come on, drop something in the chat. Let me know you're here, guys. Um, currently talking about um, this whole trend of AI. We will go ahead again and show off what we are currently working on. Hey, first time Chad or Eclipse the Elf over on Twitter. Thank you. And you followed up Eclipse the Elf. Absolutely. Thank you. There is my follower goal. And then on those wood panels, I take embroidery and I actually stitch into the wood. This piece right now is one of two that are going to be going. Why can't I think of it? I just was talking about this. Stranger Factory in New Mexico. For a circus themed show. It is painting animal skulls. On my art wall over here. Yes, over that way, which can see one. I did a lot of. I used to do a lot of just. Where the hell was I? I lost what I was doing. A lot of still lifes with skulls and bugs and mushrooms, and I just started experimenting with actual characters one day. And like I've been doing this, I've been doing like the professional art, and since you are now a follower, you are officially one of the art kids, and I appreciate that. But yeah, my whole goal is to essentially try to make mid-career artists, just people who have questions about art and like what they should be doing. Because I'm like, everyone, it's something that's is and should be accessible to all. But let's be fair, there's a lot of gatekeeping I feel that happens within the office of how they do a certain thing, and it's stupid. Sorry for the lagginess on Twitch. It is something I am working on getting fixed in the near future. But hey, I do appreciate the follow. I'm only doing once a week because I am also, as the dad in the art dad name is not one of those things that I want to do more of, but don't have to get me a basement studio. And then I can do streams a lot more often without worries of waking up my 3-year-old child. Oh, man. But yeah, if you are new, like I said, I stream here, but I'm also on all those major socials over on YouTube. Looking good. Over in Oak. Let me pull up my stats because I can almost guarantee. Let me pull up my stats because I can almost guarantee I'm getting like, yeah, oof. Drop frames, ooh. Yeah. Frames missed due to rendering lag, yeah. Again, super appreciated. Give me a follow on my socials. You can find them all in my bio. So that way you can keep up with what I'm doing, see the videos that I'm making, seeing what I'm doing. I also do a lot of mental health check-ins because that's something I don't think artists get enough of. Like, being an artist is a generally solitary gig. So having that, why can't I think of that? Just that simple mental health check-in is super important. What we do in the creative world. So, except AI artist, I have a very much am against that whole AI beat bullshit. You'll love the most recent video. But again, Eclipse the Elf, thank you for that follow. I will now have to reset my follower goal to be slightly more ambitious than one. But I appreciate you finding a streamer over there on Twitch who had 0 followers, and now you are the first. I'm trying the next best thing to do because certain people have it figured out. They've seen 2 hit a niche, and they just And that's the weird thing. I have never seen explosive growth. I have been very TikTok has been the most I don't want to call it explosive, but at least consistent. Like, I am art memes niche, and it's okay. Weird. Not the niche I would have expected to pop off like that, but hey, if they're doing that, cool. Statement of that, like, don't follow the trends, because trends are fickle. They're going to change drastically. So the moment you get into a trend, and like, especially right after it pops off, the moment you get into that trend, there's a chance that it's going to switch to something else. So my thought process, do art that you like making, and while it may feel slow at first, people are going to find you. Like, I've been painting skulls, like the kind of stuff that I've been doing since about 2013. I had one really good show here in Philly at Dirty Frank's bar, which is also a gallery space, which was great. Sold like, made about $900. It was great. And then after that, I had nothing. And it was like, okay, cool. So I had this really weird blip, and then it was nothing. And that was also just kind of where I was just starting out on my current work, where I was doing like the skull still life stuff. And then I got into Arch Enemy Arts here in Philly, which is my go-to gallery. They are my favorite gallery in the city of Philadelphia. So if you're ever in the Philly neck of the woods, they are like one gallery I highly recommend checking out 100% of the time. They always have an amazing showcase of artists there. Let's see, Waffle Man joining in. Thank you for hopping in on TikTok. But yeah, like, trying to find a specific niche it's hard. Like I said, I've been trying years out there. Benny the Creator over on TikTok has some amazing stuff. I follow his work. He is fantastic. Another fantastic creative mind. But yeah. So always feel Eclipse. One other thing I always let people know is, like, if you've got specific questions about how do I do this specific thing in the art world, how do I get into galleries, how do I properly varnish a painting, like, that's kind of what I'm here for. That's my whole jam. I want to make art accessible um, to anyone who wants to try to make it a career. Because to be honest, schools do a shit. Like I went to college for art education, and art. But one of the things I've noticed is schools do a shit job preparing you for the professional world of being an artist. They teach you a lot of great theory and craft on how to make art, and I'm fucking. They do a lot of great stuff on teaching you how to make the art, but they do an absolute shit job on the marketing of yourself and your art, which that is such a big part of being a professional artist. Like I remember in college I had like a business, one single business of art class in my entire college career. And at the end, they showed us how to make a website. They showed us how to make business cards and shit like that. Cool. That's helpful. Eclipse, you've been very patient with me over on the stream, but yeah, what do we got? Keyframe interval too high. I gotta figure out how to adjust the keyframe or the bitrate in OBS. Let's close my scare. Oh no! Want you, I'm tattooed. Want you back. Hey. Sorry, everyone. We are just experiencing some technical difficulties. Settings. Want you. I'm gonna lower the bit rate. Helps the stream. I don't know if I can change the bit rate mid-stream and that'll apply. Hopefully it doesn't F things up completely. We shall see. Alright. 720p source over on Twitch. Eclipse, sorry if I'm cutting in and out. I am doing my damnedest to get things squared away. So hopefully you have a more enjoyable experience. That's great. Looks like I already started my 10 follower goal. It's looking better over on Twitch. So thank you for being with me. And I see 2 other lurkers in there over on Twitch, so feel free to join in on the chat. Stitching. Yep. Thank you. Yeah. And it's like, I think the most important thing, especially with art school, is I personally had a great experience. I went to Kutztown University in Pennsylvania here. But I'm sure you can learn independently. Yeah. Oh, definitely. That is the great thing. Generally speaking, you have, as just a human being, you have the ability to teach yourself anything. Like, personally, I went to art school. I loved it. Granted, I started out with art education being my main degree. And Hey May over on TikTok. And that was great. I also had a really great professor who just legit asked me the questions like, why do you feel like being an artist has to come with conditions? Why do you think you have to have artist and this as a job? And that kind of opened up my eyes, and I actually got to meet him recently at an opening of his here in the city, so that was awesome. Got to share with him just some of the experience that I've had, so that was really great. But I also have a friend who is very much. She did not go to school. She did not go to art school. She was self-taught. Um, she did art in high school too, but she was very much a self-taught artist, and she is honestly one of the best watercolor painters I've ever seen. Her name is Michelle Avery Kosniak. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right, especially if she pops in on one of these streams. Goes by Velvet Mush on social media. Um, Absolutely amazing artist. Her work is stunning. Um, but yeah, CPU standard quality. Let's. I'm gonna drop the kilobytes per second bitrate. I am trying my damnedest. Why? Okay. But yeah. It's just one of those things where um like school is not for everybody. And I think that's something that a lot of people forget. Um like for me, school was really beneficial. Other than actually yeah, absolutely stunning work. Highly recommend following her. Like I said, happy to be able to call her a friend of mine. But like I said, she did not go the traditional schooling route. And she is in my opinion, pretty fucking successful artist. She did 2 book covers, which was fantastic. She's actually working on a 3rd book right now. Not a cover, but the interior pages. So, again, everyone's school journey is going to look different. Sometimes the rigidity of a traditional school setting is what a lot of people need. It's just important for that. For others, um, like yourself, Eclipse, maybe, especially with animation, it's something that you could potentially teach yourself. You're gonna have a potentially harder go with it, because you are going alone. So that is just more reason to create a network of people who are not only supportive of you and your work, but who you could also rely on for actually like actual help from them. Being able to bounce ideas off of people and just talk to people who are in a creative realm, that's super important. Again, reason why I started the Philly Art Dad platform. I want to be one of those people that you can come to ask questions about um, creativity as a career. Um, so, like I said, that's the whole goal of Philly Art Dad. I always welcome questions, putting a comment on a video, here in the live chat. And honestly, if it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, this is something that I think a lot of people would benefit from, like I will create a video from that. It's Because again, if one person has a question, it's a good possibility that others are going to have similar questions in that realm. So yeah, that's what I strive to do. So always never feel discouraged to reach out either on social media platforms, wherever you find me, or here on Twitch when I go live, or YouTube or TikTok when I'm live. I love fielding those kind of questions and helping out. Like I said, my initial degree at Kutztown was education, but the life of a teacher really didn't pan out for me. So I've kind of been scratching that itch of being a teacher by doing the Philly Art Dad platform. A little quiet over on TikTok right now. Yeah, I see a bunch of you people over on TikTok scrolling through. That is awesome. And I see you lurkers over here on Twitch, and I appreciate you guys lurking in the background. I love it. I love having you view here. I apologize for the quality of the stream. I'm currently making a comic, making a small art biz, using some of those characters in animation with them, so you can imagine my hands are full. My goal is to eventually get more into 2D animation. That's awesome. Absolutely. That is super cool to hear, Eclipse. But the animation is the odd facial expression. Animation is not my forte. I am very much traditional 2D artist. I have not delved into that. But yeah, I can like facial expressions are always weird in general, but especially when you're trying to get them to move in the appropriate ways, that can be tough. I know from what little knowledge I have of animation, like blur frames, those are key to I think a lot of that. But God, again, more power to you. I look forward to eventually seeing some of that. So, like I said, if like I appreciate the follow here on Twitch, but if you like follow me over on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, I always make it a point to whenever somebody follows me, to actually go and check out their profile. That's super important. I like to know who is following me, and like, are they an artist? Do they do stuff like that? Yeah. Again, like I said, I think this is before you maybe popped in Eclipse. I don't know if you caught this, but one of the things, like I mentioned before, I'm working on a series of videos that actually talk to other artists that I know personally or have met through like doing this whole Philly Art Dad thing, and getting their perspective. Because at the end of the day, I'm one dude who has a particular set of skills and a particular um, experience. One of the things I talk about a lot is you can learn from other people's experiences, but never expect people to actually, or expect your experience to be the same as theirs. 6. Sorry. TikTok wants me to verify that I'm still active. But yeah, I think that's one of the important things to do. I don't do traditional mixed media just as much. I had to stop myself from being super old school with paper animation. Don't have that. Paper animation is amazing. Like that old school Disney animation that is some absolutely cool shit. And if you want to do that, keep doing that. Like I've seen so many people do just some amazing flip books. In a very rudimentary sense, but like over a couple hundred pages in a flip book, and those things are absolutely stunning. Don't stop yourself from doing something if you enjoy it. Again, that goes back to what I was saying. Just because it may not be a niche thing or it may not be super trendy right now, you're going to find people who love that shit. So keep it up. You can diversify, but definitely if you love that old school stop motion paper animation style, do it. Absolutely do it. Got some people over on TikTok. My wife popped in again. Hi. See Wes Samuel over on TikTok. I swear I'm going to get the multi-stream figured out again, where I can do the same stream on one camera to TikTok. But right now, OBS and Stream Elements are being very temperamental with TikTok right now. I think they are waiting till I get to at minimum 1,000 subscribers. I don't know. It's weird. I'm not a super big fan of it. Hell yeah. That is what I am here for, Eclipse. I am here for the hype. Like I said, I want to be the supportive art dad for you. I want to make sure you are just as excited for what you're doing. I'm also here to make sure you have realistic goals too. But at the end of the day, if you want to do something, absolutely fucking do it. There is no one stopping you. It is super important to be excited for what you're doing. Because if you're not excited about what you're doing as an artist, then I don't know if being an artist would be the right thing for you. It's just one of those things. Like, it takes a certain love for the craft. Like, is embroidering paintings a smart or trendy thing? Probably not. But I fucking enjoy the process, and I have definitely found my small as it is group of collectors who absolutely love the shit I'm doing, and I'm going to continue doing it. So do what you love. Do the traditional 2D old school stop motion paper animation. Do the digital animation. Do it all, or do as much as your body can humanly handle, because that is super important to make sure you're happy as an artist. So I want that to be just a major takeaway here, is that you got to do this shit because you love it. Yeah, like I said, Eclipse, give me a follow on some of my other socials too. Would be super appreciative. And like I said, I will absolutely check out some of the stuff you're doing. I am currently working on, I think I have it set up and I just have to pull the trigger of launching it. But doing a Discord server, honestly, I'd love to do it. Again, yeah, do both. Because, again, if you develop multiple skills, it's also more tools you have in your bag of tricks. And that is clutch. Hell yeah. Thank you for subbing to the YouTube. That's the one I need most of the work on, because it's definitely... I took a slide in subs there. It kind of slowed down for a few months. But this month has been great. And I get to add you to another one. But you will always be my first over here on Twitch, so I do appreciate that. What was I saying? Yeah, Discord. I am working on, like I said, launching a Discord, where I can actually, like, you can share work with me and the community over there, and we can actually have critiques. And when I do streams like this, I could share the screen and we can actually do, like, live critiques here on YouTube and Twitch and TikTok and all that. So it's definitely something that is in the works. So, but again, it's just one of those things that I think I just gotta bite the bullet and do it. Hell yeah. Hey, TikTok over there. It's a little quiet over on TikTok. I see two of you over there watching. Feel free to just drop what you're working on. Like, let me know what you guys are working on tonight. Like, we're here to chat. We're here to create community. But I would love to hear what everybody is working on tonight. Because I don't know about you guys, but generally, when I watch a lot of these streams, I'm working on my own art right now. I don't know if he's streaming right now, but I do love, like, here on Twitch. Actually, I think I subbed to him elsewhere on some of his other socials, but Doomfruit, awesome guy. If you haven't subbed, do that. But yeah, we're here hyping each other up. That's the name of the game. What's up? Hey, Joey, thank you for dropping in. Joining my stream for a bit. It's a little weird. I'm not gonna lie, Joey, right now. We're doing a multi-stream here. I got TikTok over here on my phone, and I've got Twitch and YouTube up in OBS, mainly because, as I have stated the last couple streams, OBS is a little bitch and doesn't want to do TikTok right. Hey, your power got restored. That is good to hear, man. That is so good to hear. That had to be rough. But that's great, man. That is really good. That had to be just... Yeah, just the worst, man. I don't know any other way to say it. Like, I've been through power outages. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, man. Excuse me. What time is it? Almost 7. We probably got about 45 minutes left in the stream for my kid's bedtime, though, but hey, we're going to stick it out. I am trying my damnedest to finish up this One Piece for a show in June. I'm very close. I'm just should be finishing up the embroidery tonight, and if not tonight, tomorrow. But my goal is to finish it tonight so I can actually clean the freaking studio tomorrow. because it is a mess. Just give me a second. I'll pop it up on the stream so you can actually see what we're working on. We're doing the embroidery portions right now. Come on. Where the fuck are you? God. So we'll try to get to the end of this piece of thread. Hell yeah. Yep. Today is the last day of April, and then it is right into May. Luckily, like, I've got an entire month to get this piece out. If you do check me out over on Twitch, Eclipse, if you do check me out, my non-series art is on Twitch, but my comic concepts are on YouTube. Yeah, Eclipse, absolutely. That's awesome. I will absolutely check you out. Again, I like to make sure I check out who I'm subbed to and who subs to me, because I like to see, if we're all in the same wavelength. But yeah, Joey, there's a zine fair in October I'm looking to do, hoping there's some shows for me this year. Hell yeah. That's awesome, Joey. Ow. I know there's a zine festival out here in Philly. I don't know exactly when it is. It's one of those things I've always wanted to go at least check it out. But having a 3-year-old, I generally get pulled into doing activities for him first, before I get to do my own. I really want to go back to some punk rock flea markets here in the city. But again, I've got limited time to work with that since he has nap times that I gotta abide by. But it's all good. We'll get there eventually with him. Okay. Yeah. I think my only issue with taking to like some of the punk rock flea markets, especially right now, is in Philly we have them at the 23rd Street Armory, and great venue, absolutely love it, highly recommend it. But they pack everyone in like sardines, so it can be a lot. And he's only a little dude, and he has some like sense like we don't think he's on the spectrum, but he definitely has some noise sensitivity issues. We have headphones, but a lot of that can be a lot for a little dude like him. So we're gonna take it slow, play it by ear. We will eventually get him out to his first punk rock flea market. That's the great thing about living in Philly. Like, there's one like every other weekend, it seems, or at least once a month. So yeah. Oh, I said I would throw this up. Bam. Yeah, I got a. You've probably seen it on some of the videos you said you've been watching, Joey. I got 2 pieces for a circus themed show coming up in June at Stranger Factory. Okay, good. Eclipse, thank you from tuning in from UK, but yeah, go to bed. It's 12. It was an absolute pleasure to have you in the chat, Eclipse. Thank you again for the follow over there on Twitch. But go to bed. You have a good night and good morning, I guess, Eclipse. Take care. Again, thanks for the follow over there on Twitch. And enjoy. And thanks for the sub on YouTube. I do appreciate that. Thanks, Joey. Yeah. So yeah, it was a circus themed show for Stranger Factory in New Mexico. I actually already finished up the other one, the Sword Swallower. Love how this guy turned out. This I think is my favorite of the two. Um, but yeah, the one I'm currently working on, my Two-Faced Man, the embroidery is a little more experimental than I go with it. I try to keep things very geometric. This one is very much. It's not symmetrical. It's not um, in that like a that geometric sense. So it's very interesting, and I'm staying the course because I like the concept. I like this kind of like jagged lightning that runs down the middle and spreads out in two colors to kind of separate the two halves. I absolutely love the painting on this, especially the skull here, the Janus cat, the two-faced cat skull. Absolutely loved painting that. That was honestly has been the highlight of this piece for me. But yeah, again, it's trying new shit. And I just pulled the piece of thread all the way through. Good job, Mike. Do it. Skulls are fun, man. I forget who he was, but I think, especially after, again, seeing all the stuff you do, especially the stickers you had, the Gremlin sticker reminded me there. I can't remember who it was. I'd have to find them again, but someone out there has actually made a 3D model of a gremlin skull. So if I can find that, I'll see if I can send anyway. But yeah, you have a good night, Joey. Yeah, take care, man. It was good. Thank you for dropping in into the chat and the live, man. Appreciate it. All right. Yeah, if I can find it, I will send it your way, man. Take care. Thanks again. Fuck yeah. All right. Nice, nice, nice. No. No phone. No. On the wall. Friend, you don't know anything about the Easter stone. See just the flavor of the miles away. Too strong. The flavor you curse. The flavor of think we're going to end over on TikTok here. Have a nice night. TikTok people, thank you for everyone who dropped in. Peace. Stay weird, guys. Come. Go live for 10 hours. Fun. 72 viewers, 1 gifter. 1 diamond. Hell yeah. We're still live here on TikTok or YouTube and Twitch. Super stoked to finally get my first follower over on Twitch. That felt like a nice milestone to finally get over. It's going to be a pretty quiet rest of the night, guys. Of course, it got it fucking not. There we go. Not ready, you're not ready. checking out day 2, everybody. For everybody who might be popped in to the stream. How are we doing? Do we got any lurkers over on the YouTube? Oh, I think we got nobody else. That's me watching now. I popped in my own stream. Hell yeah. Hey, good times, people. I think we're going to call it a night there, guys. Thank you for joining on. Thank you to Eclipse the Elf for being my very first follower over on Twitch. That was super awesome, and I super appreciate that. Hell yeah. Thank you for staying up till 12 midnight in your time, but you didn't have to. I get it. So, again, I guess have a nice night, guys, and I will see everyone next week. Stay weird, our kids.